You walked in feeling fine, maybe even good, energized, ready. But 20 minutes into that mall, that market, that crowded street, something shifted. Your shoulders got heavy, your head started to fog. A low-grade anxiety crept in from nowhere, and by the time you got home, you were completely, inexplicably drained. You blamed the heat, the noise, the crowds. But here's what nobody told you. You weren't just tired, you were leaking. Your energy field, wide open, unprotected, was absorbing every chaotic frequency, every unprocessed emotion, every psychic static signal in that space, and you carried all of it home with you. Today, that stops. I'm going to show you 5 disciplined energetic protections that you can use anywhere. A busy market, a packed bus, a crowded office, to stop the drain, seal your field, and walk through any crowd like an immovable force. Because in a world this loud, protecting your peace isn't a luxury. It is survival. Welcome back. If you're new here, this is a space for people who are done letting the world run their internal weather. Now, before we get into the 5 protections, I want to address something that might be sitting in the back of your mind. Is this real, or is this just mindset talk? Here's my answer. Your nervous system doesn't care what you call it. Whether you frame this as spiritual protection or neurological self-regulation, the results are the same. People who practice these techniques report less anxiety in public, faster emotional recovery, and a consistent sense of inner stability that crowds simply cannot touch. Call it what you want. The protection works. Let's build your fortress. Protection. 1. The modern energy crisis in public spaces. Before we can protect ourselves, we need to understand what we're protecting against. We are living in what I call the 2026 empathic burnout era. Urban environments have never been more intense. The sheer density of people, each carrying their own unprocessed stress, unhealed wounds, financial pressure, relational tension, creates an invisible but very real field of chaotic frequency. And if you are a sensitive person, someone who feels things deeply, who picks up on the emotions of others, who notices shifts in atmosphere, you are especially vulnerable. Here's how to know if you're already experiencing what I call vibe bleeding, the involuntary absorption of external energy. You enter a space feeling neutral and leave feeling emotions that don't belong to you. Sadness with no source, irritability that appeared from nowhere, a heavy, weighted feeling in your chest that lifts the moment you get home and close your door. You feel physically exhausted after social interactions that weren't even draining on the surface. You find yourself needing hours, sometimes days, to recover after being in crowded environments, and that is not weakness, that is an unprotected energy field. And the foundation of fixing it is what we call spiritual sovereignty, the conscious decision that your internal state is yours and yours alone, that the world does not have automatic access to your peace. This isn't arrogance, it isn't coldness, it is the most responsible thing you can do, because a drained, depleted version of you helps nobody. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. So let's stop letting the crowd empty yours. Protection 2. The golden sheath visualization. This is your first line of defense, and it takes less than 60 seconds to activate. Close your eyes for a moment, after I explain this, and picture this. Surrounding your entire body, about 6 inches from your skin in every direction, there is a layer of warm golden light, dense, luminous, impenetrable, not rigid like a wall, but fluid, like a second skin made of pure frequency. This is your golden sheath, your auric armor, and in this moment you are going to build it consciously. Here's the process. Step 1, set your breath. 3 slow, deep breaths. Each exhale, feel yourself expand slightly outward. You are not shrinking to avoid the crowd. You are expanding to contain yourself. Step 2, build the light. Starting at your feet, visualize warm golden light rising, like you're being slowly dipped in liquid sunlight. It moves up your legs, your torso, your chest, over your shoulders, the top of your head, until you are completely encased. Step 3, set the intention. This is the part most people skip. and it's the most important. You speak to the sheath, either silently or aloud. This field allows love, connection, and genuine energy in. It repels chaos, static, and energies that are not mine. That conscious intention is what transforms visualization into functional protection. Now on the challenge, maintaining it when the environment gets loud. Here's the trick. You don't need to hold the full image in your mind constantly. You just need an anchor, a single sensation, the warmth around your shoulders, the golden glow at your chest, that you return to whenever you feel the crowd beginning to press in. One breath, one touch to your anchor point, the sheath reactivates. Practice this at home first, in silence, so that by the time you're in the crowd, it becomes as automatic as breathing. You are not walking through that mall unprotected anymore. You are walking through it encased in gold. Protection 3. Grounding to the Earth's core. The golden sheath protects your outer field. Grounding protects your foundation. Here's a truth most people in crowded spaces have never considered. The reason you feel airy, scattered, and overwhelmed in a dense crowd is because you are energetically untethered. You're floating. And anything that floats gets pushed around by whatever current is moving through the space. The antidote is to become rooted. And I mean that in the most literal energetic sense possible. Here's the technique. And yes, you can do this. Standing on concrete, in shoes, in the middle of a busy street. Step 1, feel the soles of your feet, just that. The pressure of the ground beneath you. Step 2, begin to breathe slowly and imagine, with each exhale, that roots are extending downward from the soles of your feet, through your shoes, through the concrete, through the layers of earth beneath the city, down, down, deep into the molten magnetic core of the planet. Step 3, feel the Earth's energy rise back up through those roots, stable, ancient, completely unbothered by the chaos above. This is what I call the Earth Pulse connection, tapping into a frequency that has existed for billions of years and is completely unaffected by the noise of any crowd. When you feel this connection, even a subtle version of it, something shifts instantly. Your breathing slows, your chest opens. Your feet feel heavier in the best possible way. You go from being a leaf in the wind to being a tree in a storm. The storm is still happening, but you are not the storm. Practice this anytime you feel overwhelmed in public. It takes just 30 seconds. Nobody around you will even know you're doing it. And over time, as you strengthen this practice, you will develop what I can only describe as an internal ballast, a deep, quiet stability that the environment simply cannot shake. Because you know you are no longer borrowing your peace from the outside world. You are drawing it from the center of the earth itself. Now we get specific, because not all entry points are equal. In the human energy system, there is one center that is more vulnerable than all the others. In chaotic public environments, the solar plexus, located at your midsection just above the navel. This is your power center, your seat of personal will, confidence, and energetic identity. And in a crowd full of unprocessed emotional frequencies, it is the primary entry point. Psychic vampires, whether consciously or not, drain from this center. Environmental stress accumulates here. You know that feeling of a pit in your stomach in an overwhelming crowd? That is your solar plexus gate being pushed open by external forces. Today, you learn to close it. The simplest and most effective method is a subtle hand placement known in ancient traditions as a protective mudra. In a standing position, or seated, bring your dominant hand flat across your solar plexus, not pressed aggressively, just resting, like you are quietly declaring, "This gate is mine." If you're in a space where that gesture feels too obvious, you can cross your arms naturally, a posture most people make instinctively in overwhelming spaces, by the way, because your body already knows this protection. There's also a breath seal you can use. Inhale slowly. On the exhale, gently contract your core, like you're bracing slightly. Hold for just a moment, then release. This physical contraction temporarily closes the energetic gate and interrupts any drain that was beginning to occur. Do this 3 times in a row whenever you feel that familiar stomach drop sensation in a crowd. You are not just protecting your midsection, you are reclaiming your personal power from every frequency in that room that was reaching for it without permission. And once you seal this gate consistently, something honestly pretty remarkable happens. You stop leaving public spaces feeling conquered. You start leaving them feeling intact. Protection 5. Commanding your personal radius. This final protection is less about what you visualize and more about how you carry yourself. There is a law in energetic dynamics that most people have never been taught. The space you claim, others respect. Not through aggression, not through volume, but through a quiet, unmistakable frequency of presence that signals to every person and every energy in your vicinity. This space is occupied by someone who knows their worth. This is what I call commanding your personal radius, and it operates on a simple foundation, the 3-foot rule. At all times in a public space, you are consciously aware of the 3 feet of atmosphere immediately surrounding your body. This is your field, your sovereign territory. You don't shrink it to accommodate the crowd. You don't apologize for it. You simply inhabit it, fully, deliberately, peacefully. Here's how that translates: practically walk with intention. Not rushing, not drifting, moving as if you know exactly where you are going and you have every right to be going there. This energetic signature alone repels chaotic frequencies. Make conscious contact with your breath. Shallow breathing signals vulnerability. Long, slow, deliberate breaths signal stability. The crowd feels the difference even if they can't explain why. Project the do not disturb frequency. This is not a cold or aggressive energy. It is simply the quiet vibration of someone who is complete within themselves, peaceful, full, not seeking anything from the external environment and not willing to be taken from either. People who carry this frequency move through crowds differently. You've seen them. They don't get bumped into as often. The chaos seems to part around them slightly. That is not luck. That is command. And finally, the daily integration routine. When you return home after any public space, before you do anything else, just stop at your door, take 3 breaths, shake your hands gently, like you're shaking off water. Set this intention: I release everything that is not mine. I return to myself. I am home. This simple ritual prevents you from bringing the crowd's energy into your private space and ensures that the home you return to remains the sanctuary it's supposed to be. Same energy you're left with, every time. Let me bring this home. The world is not going to get quieter. The crowds are not going to get smaller. The energetic noise of modern life is only going to intensify. But you do not have to be a passive receiver of all of it. You have a golden sheath. You have roots that reach the center of the earth. You have a sealed solar plexus gate and a personal radius that commands respect. You are not defenseless. You never were. You just hadn't been given the tools. Now you have them. Here's what I need from you right now. Like this video. Every like tells this message. It needs to travel further. Save it. You're going to want to come back to these techniques before your next crowded outing. Comment below. Which of these 5 protections are you going to try first? The golden sheath? The grounding? Tell me, I want to know. And if you're ready to go even deeper, I have a video right here on how to identify and cut energetic cords with people who drain you. That is the perfect next step after today. Until then, walk tall, breathe deep, command your space, and never let the crowd take what's yours again. See you in the next one.